data resilience?
So I think for me, the idea of resilience is about how do we as a society spring back. I think we've come to understand that security, safety, there will always be security breaches. There will always be something that defeats the security perimeter. There will always be something that defeats the security controls. In the same way, we'll experience problems that challenge the safety constraints, the safety goals. I think resilience is about, if we step back one step, how do we expect life to keep on going? We're building systems that are more interconnected. We're building systems that are increasingly reliant on other systems, and we can end up with cascade failures. And I think where I'd like to see the thinking shift is towards how do we build resilient societies. That's not just what's in people's heads, in how we ourselves understand how to be resilient, how to overcome setbacks, but it's also how do we build systems that are designed to evolve to meet the needs of resilient societies.
And what brings you here today?
So I thought the opportunity to hear from other speakers about safety and security and how do we unite the two worlds? I think they've been driven apart by different practitioners, different interests, different legislation, and we need to come together as a society and bring the ideas in safety and safety culture and the ideas in security and bring those together in order to create resilient societies.
And why do you think the topic of safety versus security is so important?
So I think ultimately we have different understandings of it, whether we are in our personal lives, we understand that we want to feel safe and secure. We understand that we want things to work correctly. We want to go about our daily lives without worry. We want things to just get on, to keep working. The difficulty is, as we build these highly interconnected systems, we build systems which are increasingly not just connected, but immediately connected, and not just they're not systems which are independent any longer. So we're losing the independence, whether that's independence of what's on the vehicle, whether it's the independence over the engine, the software. We're building big, complex systems which we can't easily just replicate. They are connected, and there's always the potential that something takes out an entire category of assets, of entities, rather than just taking out an individual vehicle or an individual aircraft. And I think for me, getting to a point where we can have a resilient society that can allow those methods of communication, mechanisms of transport, everything that keeps our daily lives going, so that we can get on and enjoy life. That's why I'm here.
And why do you think cybersecurity is so difficult to implement?
I think the difficulty, in a way, depends on language still. Security, if you look at the definitions that exist, a lot of it comes down to feelings and the feeling of being secure. A lot of the time we understand that we want to feel secure, but ultimately it comes at a cost. We have to make choices that actually match our values. And one of the things I remember from very on in my career was someone saying that money is just a way of choosing things you want to happen, whether that's items you wish to be manufactured. You want to see more of something. So at some point you've got to choose to spend money on flying on the more secure, the safer airline. At some point you've got to choose to spend money buying a safer car. It's hitting a choice that you're making, usually with your wallet, but also in terms of things like how long it takes to get there. And you're making these personal risk trade-offs.
What do you think the value is of bringing everybody together at an event like this?
Probably the greatest value, and something I'll touch upon whilst talking to me, is establishing a common language. Working closely with Ricardo over the past 2 years, we've come up where we are with very different backgrounds, different training, and because of that we have different worldviews. We've got different ways of expressing ourselves. We're actually incredibly similar cultures. Many people in safety could easily have moved over to a career in security. They've got the right mindset, they've got an analytical approach, they require evidence to support their decisions, and they're making risk judgments. It's exactly the same whether you're on the safety side, the security side, but we've got different language we use, and language divides people because people have a domain of expertise. It's part of how you identify. And to me, the real value in today is helping to break some of those divides down. It's about us talking with each other, establishing a common bond through the fact that both of our disciplines are very similar. And ultimately, if you look at the definitions that we as individuals in our own life take, whether it's safety or security, we don't really differentiate. They're one and the same thing when I'm at home with my kids. Are we safe? Are we secure?